Hi everyone, I'm here with Mark Bezanson, a musician, a friend, and a music educator, and a incredible police fan. We have both made the claim that this for us is the best album ever made, and gotten in trouble by our friends as a result. So we're going to see what you think. So Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you.
Great. So tell us a little bit about yourself, just the quick Coles notes on you.
So right now I'm a retired teacher of 30 years, musician. I was saying earlier, I get to do everything I love to do. So I'm writing, I'm singing, I'm performing, a bit of travel with my wife. So we're doing all those things.
Awesome.
And still subbing.
And you you were a teacher. You taught all sorts of instruments. Your primary instrument is bass.
Yes.
And you're also a musician. His stuff is available on all streaming services. Mark Bezanson, I'll put the link down below. Really cool stuff. And now, very different from the Police, but
Yes.
Excellent songwriting. So how did you first find out about this album?
I was 13. I was watching MTV because that was the thing, and I remember exactly where I was in my bedroom. I had a TV on a chair, and like an MTV show or the Canadian Countdown came on, and I first heard "Every Breath You Take," and it was just like one of those aha moments where it's sort of like, okay, I don't know what they're doing. I'm not exactly sure how that's being done, but that's what I want to do. And I just knew the singing, the song, the look, the feel of the song, everything. It was like, I need to somehow get more of that in my life.
And being a bass player, you weren't a bass player at the time that was obviously, or did you always play bass?
I was a tuba player.
You were a tuba player. Okay.
True story.
So, there you go.
Close.
I used to always feel bad for the tuba players because back at the old Red Schoolhouse, there the music place, you know, I'd be there with my clarinet. We'd all go off to the corner store and get our Twizzlers or whatever. And the tuba player was sitting there because he couldn't leave, sitting on the step until his parents came to pick him up. I felt so bad. But like bass is like to me, you know, the drums and the bass are the two most important instruments in a band. I play guitar, but that's kind of why I did my old percussive thing, because without the drums and the bass line, the song just falls apart for me personally.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that really caught me about this album, I mean, the Police had been together for like several years, but I think this is the one that had the most main hits on it.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like this is the culmination of the intellectual side of Sting and the experimentation of Andy Summers and just the raw tsunami drumming of Stuart Copeland.
Perfectly put.
Yeah, and I feel like I can't think of another album that sounds anything like this album at all in all of history. I know people talk about Sgt. Pepper's being the best album of all time, and you know, there's so many others on the list, and it's all subjective, of course, but like I challenge anyone to see, you know, there's lyrics on here like caught between the Scylla and Charybdis, like, you know, like Greek mythology, and it was a #1 hit, and it was catchy, and you know, I mean, this album for me contained everything that I wanted to be as a songwriter. Experimentation, originality, brute force, great playing. I mean, you know.
And I think the strongest cut as far as brute force playing is not even on the original album.
Right. Yeah.
I think as a trio, like the best effort that they put just as like individual players playing together brilliantly might have been Murder by Numbers.
Murder by Numbers. Should I take a quick listen to it?
Absolutely.
Why not? This is, let's just put this on because look at that red vinyl.
Love it. It should have came as 3. There should have been a red, blue, and a yellow.
Yeah, that would have been good.
even a dummy yellow one.
Yeah, look at that. Eh?
Pretty.
So side 2, side 1. Let's put on Murder by Numbers.
and it didn't show up on the original on the album. And I wasn't an album kid. I was a tape. I would get the cassette tapes at Sellers. It was on the cassette tape. It wasn't on the album, and it was originally, I think, released in Europe on tape.
On tape,
and not on any of the albums.
That was how I discovered it too, on tape. And my grandmother in Sri Lanka took us out to, as grandmothers do, to buy me and my brother a present. So we went to a record store. He chose Synchronicity because he liked the colors. I think he was only
beautiful.
He might have been 7, and I think I was 9 or 10. And I chose Steve Miller, Abracadabra. Took it back because I'd heard the song before leaving Canada to go visit. It's a great album too. Yeah. Anyway, went home and he was playing this one and I loved it. And so, of course, as big brothers do, I said, we're going to trade. And he said, why? I said, because I like that. He said, but I like the colors. I said, no, we're trading. So I just wore it to death. So it was the tape. And I think you're right. In Europe, which would have been the British release, in Sri Lanka, they would have gotten all of those releases. Yes. So it would have been on tape at that point too.
Yeah.
And Murder by Numbers was on it. Let's have a listen to it. It's pretty staticky today. So let's see what.
It's the first cut on side? On that one? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Oh. Snare drum.
I love this little.
That's so Stewart.
Yeah.
First you make a stone of your heart, and if you find that your hands are still
where's the one? Where's it gonna drop?
then you can turn a murder into art. There really isn't any.
Not where you thought it was gonna be.
No, it's.
Just do it with a little more finesse. If you
but even like the 6.
Yeah.
Someone's coffee. An awful lot of mess, because it's murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's as easy.
Stop it there. YouTube gets mad when we play too much of a song for too long,
yeah.
but I will just that beginning, just Sting's voice, and that drum beat with the kick on the 2. I mean, first of all, and all you hear, there's a lot of harmonic stuff going on in there, but it's just the 3 of them. That's what I loved about this album. People think that there's all sorts of other things going on. There's the occasional piano, the occasional marimba thing, but there's still the 3. And Hugh Padgham did such an incredible job of making something sound so rich and so much tapestry to it with 3 instruments.
Well, they did there were a couple of tricks.
Yeah.
Right? And we can get into that now a little bit about the bass. Sting recorded this with, I think, 4 different basses. He had Brian, which was a Z bass, sort of an electric stand-up. He had...
Which would have been on that track.
Which would have been on this track. But whenever he had, and he had 2 P fretlesses, and he had a Steinberger bass. The headless bass, I don't know if any of you remember that. If you do, you can comment. But it's
I
like this
remember
little box.
the little, that's right.
It's huge in the 80s.
What's his name from, I forget his name, but from Mr. He played that as well.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. What he would do, he would record all the parts with fretless or the Z bass, but to give it that tonal center that sometimes gets lost when you're using those instruments that don't have frets, he'd use the Steinberger. So all the bass parts are doubled, and I forget which song, but there's even a song that you would think it's double stops, but the fretless bass goes down, and you can hear the Steinberger playing above it. So if you listen, that's that. But it's really cool bass stuff.
And that's one of the things with the Police is that the structure in all their songs is such a strong drums and bass, and then Andy Summers sort of just painted on top of it. Shall we pick up our instruments?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Well,
First of all, this one's not mine. Although it might go home with me.
That. Speaking of naming instruments, that one's named Jet after my son.
Oh, that's nice.
But it.
And
yeah.
for those of you, just to make sure you can see this little jet right here.
I can't leave anything alone.
No, it's all
I
good.
have to
It's all good. And I can relate.
listen to the first little bit.
This is definitely Z bass if you listen to how fat it is.
So that's what you're talking about there, eh?
Yeah, so let's see if I can.
Right.
It does
yeah.
that, and I always thought it was flown in from something else. I thought it was like
Yeah.
a marimba or something like that, and it's
And Sting was like, I think all of them were, at this point, of course, they broke up soon after. They were all trying to, one of the things I find fascinating about this album is you can tell, well, the personalities really come through on this album.
Absolutely.
And also the fact that always they were trying to be, they all had very powerful creative forces, and they wanted to be in front. And that was the big rub between Stuart Copeland and Sting, of course, was the fight for the front, right? But you can hear it in the music, like even Sting just popping in these little harmonics in there and stuff. But one of the things that I loved about the Police is that they, even though they had those egos and those desires to step out, there was this musical restraint, like the song was king. And nothing they did ever strayed out of the fence.
yeah. So it seemed to me that they're always fighting for the song, and for their part in the song. And Andy was almost like a traditional bass player role in a band, where he was trying to moderate everything and mediate everything.
Yeah.
And Sting, being the songwriter that he was, he had this very clear vision. And Stuart would just come in like a wrecking ball, and just be this, tornado that would sort of rip through everything.
Yeah.
And there's a cool thing that happens when you create from friction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Someone's always trying to gain the upper hand, and you can hear it even with that little, this little snare, like right here. And it's just like, he could have just gone the doom or whatever, but he's like, he's like, listen to me, and I don't know if that was his intention, but it's certainly, it's like this, there's a restraint for the song, and then it just opens for a second, and then this force comes out.
And I mean, how deep in the weeds we can get, even down to like the kind of kit that Stuart used, Tama, which is a loud drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
And he became the spokesperson for Tama.
Yeah.
Because he wanted a loud drum kit.
Yeah.
Like, even though he was way more refined than a lot of punk musicians, I think Stuart Copeland had like the punk attitude.
Yeah. The punk attitude, but he's extremely intellectual.
Oh my gosh, yes. Which I think was the perfect foil for Sting.
Right.
But what's cool, and I just found this out recently, when they went to mix, they had to play the faders, right?
Right.
Like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like we can automate that now. So we can basically program louds and softs and pans and reverbs to go in. You couldn't do that back during when this album was being made. You had to do a performance of, so if there's a guitar solo and you wanted to bring that up just a little bit, someone would have to ride that fader. They had a pact as a band that no one got to ride their own fader.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah,
so even though like at the end, and they came to like, they threw hands over this album. Like there was that actual fist fights.
Right. Yeah.
In the studio. When it came time to mix it, it was calm. Everybody had this clear vision then. And once it was down, everyone just rode the faders, and they knew exactly that, the drums were going to be up front, and the bass and the guitar were going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
But they all knew how to do that properly, and they left all the fighting out of that room,
Out of the room.
mix.
You told me earlier that someone said that side A. What was that?
Someone said that for such a huge album, that side A was the weakest side. It was the weakest side A of any huge album.
So whoever you are, I know you probably know Mark, but you are so wrong on that. I think side A of Synchronicity. I mean, side B has all the hits. It has Every Breath You Take, King of Pain, Wrapped Around Your Finger, Even Tea in the Sahara ends it.
Yeah.
But, and so those were the biggest, money makers for Sting. And I know they're having a little fisticuff about that now, which I agree that the other guy should get some. I mean,
Andy Summers definitely
especially
needs money
for
that part.
But side A, I mean, I just want to play. The reason why I think, I'm not going to name names here, but you know who I'm talking about. I hope he's not going to be mad at me now. But no, seriously, I think that's a crazy claim.
The ride symbol.
Phil here.
With one breath, with one flow, you will know synchronicity, a sleep trance, a dream dance, a shared romance, synchronicity, a connecting principle to the invisible, almost impossible, something in it.
Okay, so whoever you are, listen, even just from that, the first 30 seconds, to me that is one of the strongest openings to an album ever. You've got the arpeggiator going on, probably for Jupiter 8 or something. I'd love to look that up. If anyone knows, put it in the comments, please. But that hit after the ride, boom, right? It's like someone winding up and going, bam, a big uppercut. It's just, and then it happens again with the modulation.
Oh.
A connecting principle. And it's just like this, another hit.
It's the Stuart Copeland flam.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
It's that ba-dap. And it's as aggressive as a sound. And we could talk a little bit about the snare.
Yeah.
That snare sound is different than any other snare sound you're going to find from that era.
Synchronicity 1 probably is my favorite. It's so hard to choose. I mean, in terms of raw sort of tsunami power, if I'm, whenever I was on stage, one of my favorite moments was when my brother and Adam would have that bass and the drums, and I'd feel like there was a jet engine behind me.
Yep.
And I can just imagine playing Synchronicity 1 on stage, just and it was like you're running away from a steam train, and
Yeah.
and then of course there was these and walking your footsteps, these equatorial rhythms,
Yeah. And if you want to jump back to Synchronicity 1, you don't have to play it, but what a wonderful bridge
Yeah.
from Ghost in the Machine
Right.
to Synchronicity.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
there's a thread that's
a great
quite
point.
similar.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not jarred by a completely different sounding album from maybe your favorite band.
It still has that sort of rehumanize yourself
Yes.
energy, and then of
and
course,
then the next song, it's like, okay, but here's kind of the nuance.
yeah. Oh my God, I love this. Wait.
Everyone I know is lonely, got so far away. My heart belongs to no one.
Okay. What about a groove, And Andy Summers'
so good.
guitar synth. This
Yeah.
is before we had plugins and before we had all this stuff. We had this guitar synth, the Roland. I think it was it the Roland that he had? Anyway, it was very early days because
Yes.
this was, remember, this was been recorded in end of '82,
End of 80, yeah.
he would have brought this stuff down to the Caribbean where they recorded it. Listen to this roll that comes in. The little, the octavons.
Yes.
Don't tell the director I said so. But are you safe, Miss Grenenko?
And I love the fact that, you know, I mean, Stuart Copeland's guitar.
I hear that a lot in your playing.
What's that?
I hear that a lot in your playing.
It's, yeah, the influence for sure.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
those rolling numbers.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Synchronicity too. This sets such a mood.
Yeah. As the kids would say, it's a vibe.
Again, that boom, that sound. Hugh Padgham, what a producer.
What's great about, and through the whole album, if all you did was just focus on each separate instrument,
Yeah.
like if you just listen to the bass all the way through, if you just listen to the guitar all the way through, if you just listen to the drums all the way through, they're all amazing. Like they're all like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even that.
wonderful.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, all so good.
And also, even from a songwriting standpoint, you know, like. Another summer morning. Like those. Grandmother screaming at the wall. Those are some very sad chords, and lyrically in that tune there is, you know, it's about a dysfunctional family.
Oh yeah. Oh, can't hear over the din of our Rice Krispies.
Yeah, I know. So whoever said that, the first that we just went through, I mean, yes, we're super fans,
Yeah.
but the first side of this album is absolutely brilliant, and of course the second side has all the hits.
What side are you on?
Well, flip it to side B. I mean, obviously, you know, all the big hits were on
Yeah, I mean,
side, and the best song, the number one song of the '80s, is on this side.
I'll spend 2 hours talking about Every Breath You Take, 30 minutes of which is just on the piano part,
Let's have a little listen.
which is
Make sure that
yeah,
you know, YouTube will let me play this song. It's the most popular song.
yeah.
I'll drop it for a second.
Every breath you take.
All right, you know, the mood in this song.
And this is a song that they came to blows on. So, and I think it was the last one to get finished because no one could agree on the guitar part. The guitar part was finished in Montreal.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Sting had come in and had it sounding really different. They had the bass part, they had the drums, but they just couldn't get the guitar part feeling the way they wanted to. And at some point, Andy just said, "Well, just let me go
me
in
at
and
it."
do it." And it's, you know, the classic case. Depending on who you're talking to, it was the first or the second take all the way through. But it's definitely like the guitar part is a riff on the Message in a Bottle.
Right. Yeah.
That
The ninth.
that ninth
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah. So and he just came in, he just laid that down, the arpeggio, and anyway, it makes the tune.
There's the demo that Sting that brought of Every Breath You Take, and it sounds like a happy song.
Yeah.
Even though I think in Sting's mind, the surveillance aspect, the creepiness, and all the darkness of the lyric was in his, you know, it poetically was coming out. But the music that he had on the demo did not reflect, in my opinion, it didn't reflect the darkness of the lyrics. the mood that Andy Summers brought in with those nines, right? Even though it's a major key.
It
Got
is,
that.
but by making it using the ninth and
Yeah.
and kind of avoiding the third or resolving the chords the way he did.
Yeah.
He left it, kind of up in the air.
Well, to me, the ninth or seconds, like and I do a bunch of this I did a bunch of episodes on this. I find it hard to describe, and one of the challenges, the reason why I kind of stopped doing it on my channel, was because I hear certain intervals and I hear certain chords have personalities to them.
Yeah.
And I know everyone does, but it's very subjective. To me, the ninth is a lonely sounding interval. So
Yeah.
it's just it leaves you hanging. It's like, I don't know what the future's going to bring. And the fact that he used that in this song with that lyric, to me, it's like, mwah, perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why it's my favorite song on this album. For so many reasons. I was 13, just discovering girls, and that had that up in the air quality.
Yeah.
Like,
What's going to happen?
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, what happens? Like, what's going on? And yeah, and it doesn't really resolve. I think Sting probably came in doing what most of us do. He played what he could.
Played what he could, yeah.
He played what he could,
Yeah.
and that was.
And then they all
what he
brought it together. One of my favorite parts of it is that in the end is you take every move you make, every bone you break, I'll be watching you. Right? I'll be watching you.
You take every move you make, every bond you break,
I'll be watching.
every breath you take.
So it's
Yeah.
like, to me, that sense of like, it's almost like resignation. It's like, yeah, this is what it's going to be. But it's so creepy. It's like, like, you're not with me. You don't want to be with me, but I'll, and the fact that those chords are coming back to the major, the one,
Yeah.
it's like, it's settled.
Yeah.
But it's settled. It's like, yeah, it's settled. I'm going to be obsessing about you for the rest of your and my life.
Yep.
And that's something that a lot of people don't think about in this song.
No.
And that's what this album was. Like, there's so many incredible layers that you could, like, and that's why it's so listenable, right?
Tea in the Sahara.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is, it's a movie.
It is, yeah.
It's a movie. Like whenever I hear that song, like it just everything turns to sand, and like all the colors become muted.
I'm just going to go forward to it, and then we can have a quick listen to the mood of that.
Sonically,
Yeah.
Minds are deranged.
that Z bass that I was talking about before.
Beneath the sheltering sky, we have this strange obsession. You have the means in your possession. Tea in the Sahara with you.
Even the
Tea in the Sahara with
his
you.
note lengths.
The young man agreed he would satisfy their need, so they danced for his
Yeah,
pleasure.
everything.
It's so, yeah. It's the mood in that and the space. There's so much more. One of the things, then Andy Summers is using his guitar synth in there again.
Yep.
And leaving everything to be said with the bass and the drums, pretty much, other than all of the lyrics, so that the lyric comes right out. From a production standpoint, I'm not sure whose idea it was to just for it just to be hi-hat and kick for those verses. And Stuart Copeland had the most lyrical way of playing hi-hat. I think that, that was his vocal. That was the hi-hat for him was how he said
Absolutely.
things,
Yep.
I mean, he did big rolls and he was loud and all that, but, when you think about how he played hi-hat, how lyrical, how expressive, he always had something to say. He was always trying to, use the subtleties of the hi-hat, which is an instrument on its own. It makes so many different sounds, right?
Well, he got hired just to play hi-hat.
On Red Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the beginning of Red Rain is Stuart Copeland.
Yeah.
The very first thing you see on Peter Gabriel's arguably one of his biggest tracks
Yes.
is just the hi-hat from Stuart Copeland.
From Peter Gabriel, who previous albums, I don't think the one exactly previous to that, had no cymbals on his album at all.
Right.
So when he decides to have hi-hats,
you know he thinks it's good.
he calls it Stuart Copeland.
And the one song we haven't talked about is King of Pain.
Oh.
I mean, this is a incredible, poetic, it's a masterpiece.
It really is.
That's the end of it.
I think in every way.
That's Here I'm doing a little...
Bass line. It's so good. Release spaces.
Yeah.
That flam.
Yeah, that flam. One of the things I love about that in the bass and the drums is that Stuart's playing the and of every eighth note there, and it's throwing everything off kilter so that when the statement comes of I've stood here before like that in the chorus, he lands it on the one, and what a cool trick that is, production wise to what key are we in there? D.
Yeah, so you're talking like in the verses.
Keep going. Right there, and it's just like you're telling the story, you're setting it all up, and there's all these incredible there's a red fox torn by a huntsman's pack, there's a dead salmon frozen in a waterfall, there's imagery, and that's all the lyrics are.
Yeah.
And then but the band is like off kilter. It's almost like it's just like drilling these images into you,
and it's everything's kind of staccato,
and
like choppy, and then you get to the chorus, and then it's all legato. It's like
Stood here before inside the boring. Walked up in circles running round. Reminiscing, promised to be the king of
you get that Stuart Copeland, like
that's right.
Oh, we're gonna change now.
It's available in stores. No, it isn't. It's available. If you guys, whoever's watching this, if there's any of you who haven't heard it, I'm sure you've heard it. Take a listen to this album. I want to thank Mark for. Do you think we've proven that we are huge Police fans?
I think so.
I think we're pretty unapologetic about it.
Yeah, and even if I'm not the biggest Police fan, I think I am. And I think that's all that really matters.
That's right. It's right. Yeah.
But tell us what you think.
I have a friend who's actually a friend, Greg, that I knew from when I was younger, and he is probably the biggest Police fan in Canada, at least. He has the best collection I've ever seen. I was blown away back in the 80s and 90s, seeing what he had. He collected everything, and so my claim in the beginning was more so that it was really great to gush over this album with a fellow Police nut, especially a Synchronicity nut bar, like myself.
I mean, we could go back if you want to other Police stuff, or even
maybe
to Sting.
We could do it again to another album. Should we do that?
I'd love to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool.
One other thing, I was at a rehearsal last night, and I was saying that you and I were going to do this. Mark Adams, drummer at Acadia, drum prof at Acadia. He goes, "Wait, that's my album." I think if you're a closeted Synchronicity album lover, please let us know.
Yeah.
There'll be a hotline set up for us all, I think, at some point.
There you go. Well, Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
No,
always
no
great
problem.
hang.
It's great.
Always a great hang.
It's always cool hanging out with you and chatting music.
All right.
So.
And thanks for this bass. I mean,
no problem. Yeah.
Small
Take good care of
it. No worries.
All right. See you guys in the next episode.
Cheers,
Take
everybody.
care.